wins this match, and it looks like they are getting underway in SRL, and we're just waiting for the stream to catch up here. So I'm looking forward to a good race.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a really good one. I think this is definitely one of those situations where anything can happen. Just depends on what kind of run each of them puts together. I think this could be a really close race.
Yeah, absolutely. So just getting underway here, and waiting for the stream to catch up still. I'm going to make sure to refresh it. Oh, there we go. It looks like Stewie hit the power button in 1-1. He's saying in SRL. So a little bit of an issue here. We're not going to have a timer for him, so that's going to be a bit difficult. But YouTube Man into 1-2 right now with the small Mario. He's going to challenge the Koopa Goomba jump there, and we'll see if he goes for the pipe jumps.
And 2 out of 2 pipe jumps. Nice job. Meanwhile, Stewie picking up the Fire Flower. That's going to make 1-2 a lot safer. And YouTube Man actually electing to get the power up at the end of 1-2. Something you don't see a whole lot of.
That's right. So we are going to have to time this race by SRL time. And so, yeah, unfortunately, Stewie hitting power instead of reset. So that kind of threw him off there a little bit. But we don't need the timer. We got SRL time. So when they dot done, they will be good to go here. Meanwhile, making their way into 1-3, we see YouTube Man is a big Mario. So he actually grabbed that power up at the end of 1-2. He's going to grab power up in 1-3. So he will forego getting the power up in 1-4. Very interesting strategy. I actually haven't seen that strategy before, going for the pipe jumps and grabbing the power up at the end of 1-2.
Yeah, I've never seen that either. I mean, if that's what he's comfortable with doing in races, power to him. And it is going to mean that he doesn't have to pick up a power up here in 1-4, which should give him good fire bars.
Yeah, definitely. And this 1-4 power up can be a little bit tricky. So very, very smart idea for him, given that's what he's comfortable with. Meanwhile, we see Stewie running through 1-4 as well. He doesn't have to pick up power up either. So both of these players will get to get good bars and do a fire kill on Bowser. The fire kill on Bowser is faster than just running over to touch the axe, because if you touch the axe, then you have to wait for the bridge collapse animation, Bowser to fall in the lava, and then you can go run over and hang out with Toad over there. So costs a couple 2-3 seconds there to not get the fire kill. So that's why you'll see these runners try to always maintain Fire Flower, especially early in the race, because the more levels you have fire, the fewer seconds you waste on the Bowser kills.
Meanwhile, both players doing a pretty good job of navigating 2-1 with... there's a lot of enemies in this level. It makes it kind of tough to navigate, but we get a 345, I think, from both of them. That's a really good job from Stewie and YouTube Man.
Yep, and if there is a close race here at the end, we can always retime the runs. We have moderators in chat, and I'm one of the moderators, so very adept at retiming these runs. If we end up having a close race here, we want to make sure we actually get their game time. So won't be a problem, but if we have a close race, we'll have to do that. But right now, we're into our first water level. Both of these players maintaining Fire Flower, so that's very good. Different options here. You can either shoot the enemies out of the way, or you can do a crouch swim where you press the down button as you land on a floor tile here, and that'll turn Mario's big hitbox into a small hitbox. We see both of them going with Fire Flower strats instead of crouch swim strats. Oh, Stewie actually does a crouch swim there at the end, but then regains his fire, and both players clean through 2-2.
Yeah, regained his uncrouched state on the Reef of Grief. The coral, as we love to call it.
That's right, the Wreath of Grief. I haven't heard that one before.
Yeah, I think it's more for a Lost Levels term. I've heard that one, Reef of Grief. We were actually just talking about that, about 2-2 before the race started, and I think both runners doing what either one of us would have done and keeping firepower for the most part through that whole level.
Absolutely. We were talking about that because Stewie was practicing right before the end of, or right before we went live here, and he did the crouch swim in 8-4 and got the soft lock, the Mr. Cab soft lock in 8-4 in the water section. So that's why we were talking about 2-2. But both players clean through 2-3. Now into 2-4, our second castle level. You'll see YouTube Man taking the fast elevator strats. We'll see if Stewie does the same thing.
Very close there for YouTube Man, hitting the axe just after that last fireball on Bowser. That was a really good level for him. We'll see if Stewie can finish out the fire kill, and he does.
Very nice level for both. And I should mention Stewie is an excellent SMB3 player. He's top 20 in the world in all the major SMB3 categories, and he's going for the SMB3 one warp world record. So it's nice to see him adept at multiple games here. youtubeman, definitely an SMB1 specialist, but has also played other games as well. So we're into World 3, youtubeman navigating the stairs very cleanly at the end. That can be usually the most treacherous part of this level.
Yeah, World 3 as a whole, a pretty simple world, but there are a couple little places that can trip you up, like those stairs at the end of 3-1 we just saw.
Absolutely. So
3-2, pretty much a cakewalk.
Usually a cakewalk. Sometimes you can get a little confused on the jumps, especially if you're big Fire Mario. There is a duck jump usually that most people do. If you end up missing the duck, sometimes you can bonk your head and fall in the hole. So that's usually the biggest scary point here in this level. You saw youtubeman do what we call the Goofy Chocobo strategy, where you shoot fireballs in tune with the music, and that'll despawn one of the Goombas here at the end of this level. Stewie not choosing to do that strategy, but still very nice and clean on the stairs in 3-2.
Yeah, a little bit of trivia about 3-3. A lot of players, there's been some argument whether when they were developing this game, they expected you to speedrun through this game, how the coins actually line up with the music. Do you have any opinion on that? Do you think they are meant to line up, or just by chance?
I think it's very interesting that they line up. I actually kind of think they probably meant to do that. I think one of them probably held B during testing and thought it'd be cool to throw that in there, but I don't know for sure. Interesting.
I would imagine so, yeah.
3-4, we see youtubeman taking it safe. He's had a pretty clean run so far, so I'm not sure if he's been using a spreadsheet or not, or just wants to use safe strategies anyway, and a very respectable decision to always play it safe in this level, because this level, if you lose your power-up, then of course you're gonna lose time. You're also gonna have to power up back in World 4.
Here we see Stewie getting right in the face of Bowser and dealing him 5 fireballs right to the face. Very close, but he does make it out of there alive with his firepower intact.
And youtubeman actually in chat says, typing in chat between levels, he said he had a hard pattern there in 3-4, so he probably was on the spreadsheet and decided to play it safe because it was a difficult pattern. Very, very smart decision.
I was kind of thinking maybe that's what he was doing, and I commend the decision. It's a smart route.
Yep. So, going into 4-2, the most infamous level in the game, of course, especially because of any percent. But here, no shenanigans happening as far as wrong warps or anything like that. But there is the option of going in the top route or the bottom route. We see youtubeman taking the top route here. We'll have to see what Stewie Cartman does, but Stewie, we'll see. Top route or bottom route? Probably top is my guess.
He didn't quite make it up there, but he's going to take the long way to the top route, which, if that's what you're comfortable with, go ahead and do it, for sure.
Absolutely.
I mean, he, like you said, he is an SMB3 runner, so he should be pretty used to using fireballs, but it's very different in this game, of course. I commend him for taking the top route there.
Absolutely. All right, youtubeman into 4-3. This is an interesting level because if you platform this level without slowing down and then jump off of this floating elevator at exactly the right point, I think there's actually 2 frames you can do it from. You'll get what we call sky boots. It looks like youtubeman's feet were actually resting on the block, so I think he missed the sky boots. I'll be able to tell from the coin flash at the end here. He actually did get the sky boots, so the coin flash was turning off. So very nicely done for youtubeman, playing that level perfectly and saving 0.35 seconds versus not getting the sky boots.
We see Stewie not electing to go for sky boots. youtubeman actually trying to go for a little bit of a swag clip there in 4-4. Unfortunately, we're not going to see that this time around.
That'll cost him a little bit of time, but very tight pattern, but nice fire kill on Bowser before the Podoboo came back up. That was
close.
Tough pattern there.
I clenched a little bit.
As did I. And Stewie underneath the fire bar, just about a half a level behind youtubeman, and I guess with the power off issue, it may be even closer than we think. So very close race we have going on here.
Yeah. Let's see. 5-1, definitely one of where the difficulty starts to ramp up. A lot of bouncing Koopas, some Hammer Bros.
Bullet bills,
World 5
absolutely.
Bullet Bills, yeah, don't even mention them. But yeah, World 5 definitely throws a lot at you. We'll see how both these runners deal with it. Right as I say that, the commentator's curse, Stewie taking his first hit of the game.
I believe YouTube Man is still on the spreadsheet because he challenged that 5-2 cannon no problem. So I'm pretty sure he's still on the spreadsheet without having gotten hit. I know he went for that 4-4 clip, but he probably has enough frame rules mapped out that he knew what to expect there. Stewie, meanwhile, will have to power back up in 5-2. There are 3 places to grab the power up. We'll see if he goes for the first one. He does right here. I think that's a smart move because then you got this troll hammer brother there that he gets hit by, but at least it let him damage boost through there. So now there's going to be one more hammer brother section. Hopefully he's able. Oh, he takes it
Stewie. The hammer brother just said no.
Yeah, unfortunate there. YouTube Man, meanwhile, in 5-3. One of the levels
pretty decent build pattern.
Yeah, very good build pattern. I was going to say this is one of the levels where if you don't know the frame rule you're on, these bullet bills are completely random to you and you have to react to them. But if you know the frame rule, it's pretty good. And so I'm curious if you knew the frame rule or not. A lot of people don't map out 5-3, myself being one of them. Yeah, very nice pattern anyway. So now he's in 5-4. He's doing the Roy L. Good Bars strategy invented by our friend Roy LT, which is where you wait under that question block in 5-4 to ensure you'll get good fire bars so you can just speed run right through them in that narrow section in 5-4. Well played by YouTube Man in 5-4.
Yeah, and a very, very good Bowser kill from him, too. Stewie making his way through 5-3 with another decent build pattern there. Maybe the death was just to offset some of the RNG that he could see coming.
That's right, that's right. So
we'll go with that.
YouTube Man into World 6. Pretty comfortable level here, World 6. One of the easiest ones in the speedrun if you don't need to power up, and YouTube Man doesn't need to power up. Stewie making his way over the fire bar, and he's going to head over... Plays the Poto Boost safe. I think that's a wise decision. That one looked pretty low. So Stewie going on into World 6 now. About one level behind YouTube Man. Of course, anything can happen, especially in 6-2, one of the tougher levels in the game with all of these snipes that you do on these piranha plants. Yeah,
one of the tough levels, but definitely very fun once you learn how to use fire in it. And YouTube Man taking a bonk there and hitting the falling Buzzy Beetle, unfortunately. I'm trying to think of where he can get power-ups. He can get them in 6-3, but he can get one in 6-3, but that'll take a long time to get.
Just under the Koopa there. So this evens things up a little bit. Yeah, there was a star he could have grabbed, but it would have been a pretty tough grab, and you have to slow down a lot there usually to get it. So he decided to just power on through, and we'll see if he powers up in 6-3.
I would, if he's watching the restream, which we've seen him chat. It looks like he is going to stop here, knowing that he is about a half a level ahead at this point, or maybe like a full level ahead. And his next chance to get one will be in 6-4, but that can also be a pretty hectic power up to pick up.
Absolutely.
We'll see if he waits until 7-1.
Nice at the end of 6-2 for Stewie there. 3:35 on the timer. 3:42 is optimal, so a couple safe strategies for Stewie there, but making sure you keep the Fire Flower is the main thing in 6-2.
All right, he is going to pick this one up. On second thought, the 7-1 power-up, the first one in the level, is that is a pretty tough one to pick up if it's a flower, because it just stays up and it's very high up on the screen.
And the fire bars thankfully cleared out nicely for him in 6-.
They did. Good kill on Bowser. He's moving on to World 7. And Stewie making his way into 6-4 now.
Alrighty, World 7, 7-1. For those of you who run any percent and maybe not Warpless, 7-1 is kind of reminiscent of 8-2, where you're platforming from cannon to cannon from these bullet bill launchers, as YouTube Man's stream seems to have frozen up right now. So that's what he was doing at the beginning of that level, and at the end of the level, there's some Hammer Brothers, and then a stair climb with a Buzzy Beetle there that can be pretty tough. So hopefully his stream will pop back on here in a second.
Yeah, we're going to switch over to Stewie's sound for now. We will, hopefully that is not a dead stream issue. Hopefully that's just a Twitch issue right now.
Yeah, and hopefully he has a local recording going. For those of you who are running this race in this tournament, make sure you have a local recording going, because if something like this were to happen, we're going to need your local recording.
Yeah, he does have local recording. Hopefully, we'll get that stream back here in just a minute. Meanwhile, we have no idea, because YouTube Man's timer was the one we were going off of. We have no idea what Stewie's time is.
Unfortunately for Stewie, he still powers through 7-1 and keeping his Fire Flower. So now he heads into 7-2, a repeat of 2-2, but with more bloopers. So that can create more choke points, more narrow points in this level, which definitely makes it more treacherous. And then there's the infamous bad blooper possible. Wow, just through that section there. It looks like we got YouTube Man back. So he is in 7-3, has not taken a hit yet.
That's good to see from YouTube Man. Glad that we've got him back here, making his way through the Cheeps and the Koopas, and it looks like we may have lost him again right as I said that. So we'll switch back to Stewie's sound. But good job for Stewie making it through there with fire, picking up some extra fireworks. I haven't been keeping count, but I think he's somewhere around 15 or 16 fireworks at this point. And I would hope that doesn't end up being the difference in this race.
Yeah, hopefully not. Meanwhile, once again back with YouTube Man, he's in 7-4, still with his Fire Flower. Stewie in 7-3. This is a really nice race for both of these. I bet Stewie has a chance to PB here. I know he's taken a death, but it was in a relatively good spot for where you would, if you had to choose a death point, not that you would want to keep a solid pace here. So keeping up with YouTube Man, just a level behind. Very, very good race for Stewie.
Yeah, I could easily see Stewie PBing here. It looks like YouTube Man maybe not too far behind his PB.
Certainly. I mean, no hits yet for YouTube Man. Hopefully none taken as he heads into World 8. World 8 is interesting because there are no checkpoints in World 8. So if you take a death, you go back to the beginning of that level. Every other world except the castle levels, the levels have a checkpoint where if you make it past that checkpoint and then you take a death, you'll just restart from that checkpoint. But in World 8, none of the levels have a checkpoint, so you have to go back to the beginning of the level if you take a death. So Stewie fire kills Bowser, and now he will head into World 8.
He'll be into 8-1, and you might be thinking, YouTube Man, if he's watching this, he might be thinking, oh, I'm a level ahead. But if he takes a death at any point, we could be neck and neck again. And World 8 certainly knows how to throw enemies at you in just the right spaces to kind of troll you and make you take a death if you're not expecting. I mean, you should be expecting it, but you never know what can happen.
Absolutely. All right, YouTube Man platforming cannon to cannon like we saw in 7-1. He is not going to go for the Xerox strategy, but he does a nice safe strategy. Bumps the Koopa there at the end, and a 341 on the timer. Beautiful level by YouTube Man.
Not
Stewie,
bad at all.
oh no, takes a death in 8-1. He has to go back to the beginning. No Fire Flower. There are no power-ups to grab in terms of Mushroom or Fire Flower. There is a star that you can grab in 8-1. So unfortunate death there for Stewie.
Yeah. Stewie with a good coin count, though. YouTube Man, meanwhile, making his way through 8-3 with firepower. It's definitely a level where you want it, because these bros can do just about anything. And if you're not ready for them, and you don't have fire, then it can be pretty hard to deal with. Meanwhile, Stewie electing to take the star, and that's probably a smart move, not having a power up anymore. He should get through the rest of this level with relative ease now.
And we should mention YouTube Man going for a fast acceleration at the beginning. I was saying we should mention this race isn't over, and YouTube Man being a little risky there, risky. I mean, if he takes a hit, if maybe he misses the wall jump, I don't think he will. But he missed
for
the
one
setup.
frame.
If he somehow takes a hit to either of these Koopas or in the water section, and then gets a bad cheap or Potaboo, it is not over. But certainly he's feeling comfortable right now.
Ooh, he's just kind of flirting with disaster a little bit. And he wraps the maze.
He misses the wrong warp, so there is a wrong warp there. That pipe is intended to take you back to where it took him, and he was 1 pixel short of loading what would be the water zone and tricking the game into thinking he was going into the water level. Maybe
he just wanted another try at the wall jump. He just wanted another try at it.
That's right.
It's all for show.
This time doesn't get the wrong warp issue there. He does get the wrong warp, so he doesn't miss the wrong warp. While Stewie making his way through 8-2.
And nice little safe jumps over the Koopas there for Stewie. Meanwhile, YouTube Man going into the last room. Ooh. Small Mario. Don't challenge Bowser. All right, a sub 20 for YouTube Man. GG to him. And Stewie, still with a couple levels left, but in good shape with 2 lives.
Absolutely. So Stewie, taking a death to the bullet bill there. He had a really unfortunate collision there with the Koopa at the end of the stairs in 8-2. He had 2 bullet bills. He had the Koopa bouncing. Oh no! And he takes
I
another
cursed
death
him.
in
I'm so
8-3.
sorry, Stewie.
But trooping on into 8-1. So YouTube Man definitely will pick up the win here. We don't have to wait on any issues with retiming things. And YouTube Man is going to be unable to join us for an interview. So get your GGs. I know many of you already have out in chat for YouTube Man. Great race, sub 20. Well done by YouTube Man. Didn't lose his power up at all. So other than obviously challenging Bowser there at the end, but no power up losses until that
He did
point.
lose his power up in 6-2.
That's right. 1 power up loss in 6-2.
Right.
So I stand corrected. But Stewie, once again, back into the beginning of World 8. This is a good time to mention that we do have what's called the continue code. So we saw Stewie take a game over. Game over doesn't mean your game is over. It means you ran out of lives for racing. And what you can do is when you get back to the title screen, you can hold the A button and then press the start button, and that will let you go back to the beginning of the world that you game overed in.
Right. Definitely helpful in a category like Warpless for those who are very new to it and maybe going to take a few game overs on their first few run-throughs. So if anybody out there is looking to get into Warpless, fear not. There is the continue code. With unlimited continues, by the way. Stewie just not making the jump off the cannon right there and falling into the pit of despair. Hopefully he can get to the end here with his 2 remaining lives.
Absolutely. And one of the options you can do is to grab this one up, which he is doing. Very wise decision, because you can grab this as many times as you want. If you take a death, you'll just lose the life that you just grabbed there. So kind of a nice thing to have happen here. And he's going to go for the power-up as well. Yeah,
nice power-up grab. A little bit hectic there, but
he's got a pet bill following him.
That. Yeah. Not quite able to duck under that first Koopa.
And he's got a shot. We'll see if he goes.
Go for it! Oh no!
Oh.
I think he was maybe going for it and just missed that last jump. It kind of looked like he was going for it at least.
The good thing is he got that one up, so he returns to the same number of lives that he had going into that level again.
Right, you love to see the little one-up Easter eggs get shown off. So no harm, no foul. Back to 2 lives.
Yeah, I was going to mention, meanwhile, YouTube Man moving on in the tournament. He is, again, going to face the loser of match number 38. That would be between Roy LT and Darpy. So the loser of Roy versus Darpy will go on to face YouTube Man. I mean, we're talking heavy hitters here. YouTube Man with a 1911, Darpy with a 1917 PB, Roy with a 1906. So, I mean, at this point, we're just getting down to top tier SMB1 insane matchups. So, yeah, anything can happen. But Stewie looking to finish out this run very strong.
Yeah, it's see, we get a good power-up pickup there. And we'll see if he goes for the next power-up, if he has a chance. Oh, he'll just jump right over that hammer, saying, I want to go the rest of this big if I can. Hopefully he has enough iframes. Yeah, okay, he has enough iframes to make it to the end, and he makes it to the flag.
All right, well done in 8-3. Grabbing that power-up there is key. Certainly 8-3 can be a very treacherous level, as I'm almost all too familiar with.
Yeah. All right, good jump at the beginning of 8-4. I didn't see how many lives he has left, but last time I mentioned how many lives he had left, it was a commentator curse, so maybe good that I don't know. Makes it over the first lava gap with the platform. Very close, very close to hitting that piranha plant right there, but makes it up using the block. And will he go for a wrong warp here? And he does. He gets it. Pretty tight one, it looked like.
All right, into the water section. Fortunately, he cannot soft lock here.
Right.
He is not Big Mario and won't do the duck swim here. So
Right. We won't see the Mr. Cab TM soft lock there. And he deals with the last Hammer Bro nicely. No low Podoboo. Gets the backward Bowser, but gets under him for the axe. GG, Stewie.
well done, Stewie.
Well done for both you guys.
Way to finish strong. Get your GGs out, everybody.
SRL time of 25:13. Let's see. Hopefully we can get Stewie in here for an interview if he'd like. But yeah, GG to both runners. It was a great run to watch. Like I said, unfortunately, that's going to be it for Stewie for the tournament. But we would like to get him in here for an interview before we see him off.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that was a really strong race by Stewie. I mean, he remained, for the most part, within a level of YouTube Man, one of the top SMB1 Warpless speedrunners until, right at the end of this run. So World 8 was World 8. That can happen to the best of us, but a very, very strong showing from Stewie. And I think he was on pretty solid, maybe even PB pace through most of that run.
Yeah, I agree. I think he was having a really good run, and then World 8 just kind of bit him. I mean, that can happen to, when you get to World 8, if one mistake happens, it can just spiral and snowball, and that's unfortunately what we saw happen. But I think it's a great run, and if he sticks with SMB1 Warpless, I think we could see him get a sub 20 really soon, to be honest, because that was really a overall pretty darn good run from him.
Absolutely.
It looks like he is not going to be able to make it in for an interview either. So let's see. We've already talked about who YouTube Man is seeing next.
Yep, Stewie unfortunately done for the tournament, taking that second loss. This is a double elimination tournament. But we do have some other matches coming up. A lot of matches coming up as we continue on in this tournament. I am stalling to try to pull up the schedule because I accidentally closed the link out. We got tomorrow. We actually have the next match is myself versus Merrick in another elimination match. That's going to be at 3 p.m. Eastern time. And then later that evening, 7 p.m. Eastern time, we've got Mar02 versus Dodge Master Dooley, also an elimination match. So doubleheader tomorrow with a couple hours in between. So kind of maybe the baseball doubleheader where you don't go exactly back to back, but you got a couple hours in between. But 2 races tomorrow, both are elimination races. Hopefully, they're very competitive races, and looking forward to it. Any last words here from you, Esmo?
I was just going to say, if anybody else is interested in Mario 3, there is, over on Speed Gaming 3, starting in about an hour and a half, the SMB 3 randomizer weekly race. Otherwise, it doesn't look like we have anything else coming up on this channel again until 9, which is Magic the Gathering, Arena, and lots of good things going on in the schedule tonight. You can see that schedule link in chat all over the Speed Gaming Network. But that, I think, will about wrap it up for me. And
for me as well. So once again, GG's to both runners. That's going to do it. Everybody, thanks for hanging out in chat. And congratulations to both runners. YouTube Man moving on. This is it. For Esmo88, I am Takate. Have a great night, everyone.
Take care, everyone.